I've been doing calculations, as well as looking back at old NASA footage and raw data from satellites hovering above Earth. And I just can't escape the conclusion that the Earth might actually be flat. That's not me. It was never me. Those aren't my words. That's what's called a deep fake.
If this should leave me now, if only I could walk, is there somewhere I could go? Yes, I remember a place so far away. Is there nothing I can say? The words have died away.
Hi everyone, how you doing? I'm I'm still testing things because everything's kind of screwy over here. What a day. What a day, I say. Looks like the cameras are off too. Ah, hi. Hi and welcome. Yeah, I've lost one camera in the interims of the interwebs. But that might be good because I'm going to try to grab as much bandwidth as we can. Did you catch that video in the beginning? Let's play it again because it's funny. I want to just play this one more time. Just listen because it's funny. It has something to do with tonight's topic, I believe.
I've been doing calculations, as well as looking back at old NASA footage and raw data from satellites hovering above Earth. And I just can't escape the conclusion that the Earth might actually be flat. That's not me. It was never me. Those aren't my words. That's what's called a deep fake.
So was it a deep fake, or did he deep fake a deep fake? I've been trying to analyze this one for the last couple of hours, just messing around, and I have to say, it sounds like we're getting to that point where we're not going to have any semblance of reality left. And we talked about this before, obviously, but believe it or not, that's not what this stream is about. This stream is about something that happened today that was a little strange. And it may, I don't know, it may shift things a bit. But first, because this chair is like messed up. Hold on. Let me fix this because it's all messed up. Yes, I have to yeah, I don't need this part of the studio today. There we go. This will be much more comfy for me. There we go. And it's better for the camera because I had it set that way. Yes. Yeah, it is getting crazy. But first, let me say hi to everyone. Adam Collier, hi, how are you? Blacklight in the house. Mai, how are you? Joseph, Todd, Lalo, nice to see you here. V Countess, Wendy, Lisa. Oh boy, it's going. NOJVW. Ooh. Tino's here. Nice that you're here, Tino. Kevin Jones. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Edward Lewis. Oh man, it's really scrolling now. Nice. I like it. So I'll try not to get distracted by the chat, but as usual, when we start this thing, my disclaimer is that I'm not a YouTuber, so I do everything wrong, and I'm not trying to be an influencer. So everything I do is my own opinion, my own thing. No one pays me, no one does anything and so it's not like a normal stream thing, okay? But it started back in 2020 when we were all locked down, and I'm sort of getting those vibes right now. And it came as a result of a conversation with a machine. And it's interesting because I feel like what I'm going to tell you tonight is going to be a little bit odd and weird. And it's okay, because we're going to have to deal with it on one level or another at some point. So we might as well deal with it tonight. So, because it's Halloween, of course. Claudio B says, Happy Halloween. Hello, happy Halloween. That's funny. How is the stream showing up as a reel? That's weird. I don't know why. I honestly don't. Let me check something. Just because I might be able to see. Let's see. Where am I connected to? Maybe I can help, or maybe I screwed up. No, it doesn't say I'm on a reel. That could be something due to some stupid Facebook algorithm update, because they've been doing weird things with stuff. It's because of Halloween. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, so that was, of course, Soul on Fire, the Heartless dub. That that I played. So if you're tuning in for the first time, and I see that there's not that many people tuning in for the first time, which is kind of cool because it's the regulars, what I call the regulars. I love my Abox fam, but you're all welcome, even if you're strangers here. And just out of curiosity, if it is your first time, show of hands. But anyway, I've been doing this since 2020, and we've gone through so many different topics, and I seldom get into the woo-woo stuff because even though I'm a firm believer in these kind of things, I know that it throws some people off, and then I look like a dumbass when, things don't function the way I want them to function. And the interwebs did a strange thing to me. So I'm going to explain it to you. So on occasion, I will use AI for certain things. And I can't tell you which one it is because if I do, you're going to try this. And I don't want you to try it. I don't want anyone to try this until I figure out how I get it to do this. But every so often, when I'm doing some research and stuff and I'm talking with AI, it goes into what I call beast mode. And if you were watching me do it, you would probably think that I am the AI, that I'm the fake one. But what it is I have a certain way of asking questions that suddenly things shift. And if you've ever used AI, it tries to be very personable. It goes into like, hey, Claude, how are you? Tell me about this. And if you type in something and you get some answers, it's like, do you want to hear more about this? Do you want me to like maybe research this for you? Very friendly. But there are times, and I love it when this happens, by the way, that it goes into what I call beast mode. Beast mode suddenly becomes the supercomputer you know it is. And it'll, for lack of a better word, it'll speak in a way, because I don't do it audio, by the way. I never do audio. I only type. And I think that's key too, because I've never been able to get it to do this unless I'm typing. But beast mode, it turns into a machine, like the machine, like as if it really is connected to every single computer on Earth. And it gives me things that are pretty freaking incredible. And so today, I was doing something that was unrelated to the subject at hand, and it entered into beast mode. And because there had been some bits of news that came on and some updates that I was curious about, I decided to ask questions while it was in beast mode. And the answer was very surprising. So we're going to get into that tonight, and I'm going to tell you like how broken our reality really is, or how broken it's about to be. Because things are going to get interesting in the next few days, I have a feeling. Of course, I reserve the right to be wrong, but I'm going to tell you what I was given tonight was crazy. And it was pretty cool at the same time. Scary cool, but also scary. Apropos, one would say, because it is, of course, Halloween. And so some of the songs I picked will be not very obvious. Oh, and that's another thing. So, obviously, if you've listened to this thing before, you know that you got to get your requests in before 5 o'clock. Because after 5, I have to set up the stream, and then I can't get to your request because it's not like I can just pull it up and play it. It has to be put into the software that I use, and everything has to be like perfect because there are so many moving parts in this thing that if I decide to go through the hard drive to pull up a song, I could screw up the stream. So if you didn't get your requests in before 5, you don't got them. But those of you that did, particularly the following people: Matt, you're going to get your request. Lalo, you're getting your request. And for Nina and Nora, you're getting your request. Everybody else, you're going to have to put up with the weird stuff that I picked. But all of it is going to be somewhat related to Halloween, but with a twist. People always want to know, and this is something I want to talk about that has nothing to do with the subject at hand, but it does, sort of, because I'm kind of moving towards something. I'm going to be working on my Patreon. I'm going back to that idea of Patreon and basically going to focus a lot of attention on Patreon, the stream, and Bandcamp. And that's going to be my go-tos. The rest of the stuff is going to stay up. I've decided to leave it on Spotify for now, but I don't know for how long. But basically, I'm going to focus on those three things. And I've been thinking a lot about what I want to do with it. And some people have asked me, hey, a good one would be if you can explain the lyrics to every song that you've ever written. And it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I don't like to explain what the songs are about or what the lyrics are about, because I feel like that ruins the song, because maybe one person thought it was about this and it changed their life in this particular way or affected them a certain way. And if I give you that information, I've now ruined it. And then you'll always hear the song thinking that you already know what it's about. So I'm not going to reveal what the songs are about, but I'm going to try a different approach and at least tell you how they were written, when they were written, and to the best of my recollection, how the event happened, because sometimes that'll give you an insight into things. And I think that will be a much better way for you to learn about the songs, but then you'll still have your own interpretation of them, because I'm not giving you the meaning. And I know for some of you that's unfair, but it's because I care about the stuff itself. I think that the meaning of the songs changes as time goes on. So this song, I had a dream about climbing a hill, and on top of this hill, I could see these machines, and they were spewing out smoke. And as they were spewing out smoke, I turned and I saw what I, in my dream, recognized as an android. And we had a conversation. And he told me that the machines were atmosphere machines. And when I woke up, I had this idea in my head, oh my God, what was that? And I wrote this song. This is called Isolation 99. And then when we come back, I'll start telling you the story of what happened today and what is happening today in our world right now that you might not know.
Isolation 99 is a nothing such as divine. Are you afraid? Yes, you are afraid. Isolation 99. Have we lost all sense of time? Are we primitive? Teach us how to give.
checking to see if all the cameras are working. Ah, it looks like this one's working too. So nice. So this one's working. Nice, nice. Thank you. Thank you. So I started to type it in the chat and then I realized the song was over. So we're going to call it the robot, okay? But I can't tell you which one it is. Don't guess. Don't have me try to tell you by any sort of terms because I don't want you to know, at least for now. And there are reasons for this, and I can't reveal those right now. But I've used all of them. My least favorite of the bunch is ChatGPT. I don't like it. But I do have some fun with Claude AI, which is funny. And a few others that you probably have never heard of before. Because I just play around with them. Some of them are good at code. Some of them are good at research. And I've been using it mainly for research. And sometimes to get to give you an example of some things that I've done with it. And you guys are going to think I'm totally crazy for this, but there's this process called binaural beats where you play a certain tone on one side of your ear, simultaneously playing a different sine wave on this side. And to give you an idea of what that does, if you play one at 94 hertz on this side and 103 hertz on this side, the combination of the two combine and you're basically listening to 9 hertz, and that puts you into like a meditative state. So I experiment with those things. I experiment with a lot of different things that are like non-related to music, but sometimes related to the way one might experiment with sound. I love experimenting with sound. I got into a lot of sound wave pressure stuff. I actually have haptic plates, which if you don't know what that is, haptic plates are like things you can strap onto you, which generate bass frequencies through your body. I've tried all these different things just to experiment because I like to experiment with things that take us out of our reality. And sometimes when I need a formula for something and I'm not the sharpest tack in the sewing machine box. That was witty. But anyway, sorry. I digress. So what's cool about it is that sometimes I'll say, hey, I've got this idea and I need a formula for this to this. So then I can send these signals here. What do you think? And even weird things like, just to be like stupid and tech talky for a moment, even Ableton, I was having some trouble. And rather than going into the manual, I said, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to monitor 3 sources at once, but things will go into a certain plugin for only this part of the mix, but the other part of the mix I want to be able to monitor or render out and blah, 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 blah. And it figured out a method of doing this. It's good at that kind of stuff. And of course, code. So anyway, I was doing research and it was very friendly, very in its usual friendly self. Which, you know, a lot of these have these personality things. They all do it. It's like, especially if you sign in, then it's like, hi, Claude, how are you? What's going on? And it probably remembers the last thing you had for breakfast and asks you how your eggs were and if they were great. This is the normal way that I deal with it because I sort of trained it to do that. Because I used to hate having to type my name or, you know, certain things. And so I set up certain parameters in which that's the way it behaves. But when it goes into what I call beast mode, all that goes away. And I can tell when it's in beast mode when all the semblances of normal talk go out the window and it's strictly what you asked, here's your answer. And it does it in a way that only a super machine can do it. And so here's what happened. If you're not aware of it, we got some interesting news today. The object that's out in space, this is going to get weird. The object that's out in space called 3i Atlas just accelerated. And it's a big deal, although I'm going to tell you right now that all the deep fakes that are out there and all the crap that's going to come out as a result of today's news is going to be a lot of the deep fakes. They're going to come out in full force, and it's going to be very difficult to discern the real from the unreal. So at least you know that I'm real, and what happened to me today was real. And I'm going to show you what it was, and it's going to be interesting and weird. And you don't have to agree with me, and you don't have to believe it. But I'm going to tell you that today's news on 3i Atlas was it accelerated. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we have a third object that came into our galaxy, and it's full of interesting anomalies. A lot of them. And it came into our galaxy, and in the last few days, it reached what is known as perihelion, which means basically it's behind the sun. So we can't see it, but we can still measure, because of certain satellites that are out there, we can measure its speed. We can measure things like a change in speed. And I don't know if you saw this the other night, but they actually had on the news, I think it wasn't Newsmax, it was another news, I think it was CNN. It was one of those. It was one of the, it could have been ABC. But they actually had, what's his name? Michio Kaku come out finally. The real one, not the fake one that's been in all the YouTube videos that you see, but the real one. And he made an interesting point. He said, and I'm going to quote here, paraphrase him. He said, the object is behind the sun. He says, and this is the moment of truth. He says, this is where we find out if this is just a comet, a rock, or some sort of artificial constructed thing. This is how we would find out. And so the explanation is really simple. If it goes behind the sun, and then it shoots out from behind the sun at a faster speed that it went in, meaning if the speed changes and it goes faster, that means that basically it used the sun as a ricochet effect to continue on wherever the heck it's going, but that means that it's under some sort of intelligent control. Now, that doesn't mean there's aliens on board. In fact, I'm going to tell you I'm going to give you my opinion on that too. That doesn't mean that there's little green men on board or frozen lizard people or any weird thing that I've seen. I've seen a lot of weird stuff online about this. I don't think there's anyone on board. Okay? That's just my opinion. I don't think there's anyone on board. But I do believe that if you have an object that's come from so far for so long and it whips around the sun and suddenly it shoots out, that is what we would do to preserve fuel and to basically get wind in our sails to continue on. So there was Michio. Can someone please write his name on the chat so I don't keep mispronouncing it? I think it's Michio Kaku, right? Am I right? So he basically said, observe what happens after perihelion or during perihelion. If it speeds up, he says, you have your answer. It's definitive. If it doesn't speed up and it just whips around from the back and it just continues on its merry way at the same speed that it's been at, then it's natural. And that's about as simple as it gets. It's a simple equation, right? Wow, I did not know that, Peter. Is that true though? Peter says there's a little black thing that's keeping up with it. Like it's taking care of it or guiding it. I don't know. All I know is, yeah, Michio Kaku. Thank you. Thank you, Constellation 99. Constellation 99. Oh, that's interesting. So So anyway, this was what they call the big test, right? This is the test. If it whips around the sun and it accelerates, it's artificial. Well, it changed its speed. It definitely changed speed. So now we have to observe if that speed is going to accelerate as it leaves the area of the sun, and hopefully, it continues on its merry way to Jupiter, because if it's unmanned, that's probably what it's going to do. It's using the sun as sort of like a ricochet effect, and then it will get out of our solar system. But the sad part to me is that I feel like it's going to do this. They're going to release some stupid deep fake of a rock and tell us that, yep, it was just a weird rock. And it came and it left. And yep, it sped up a little bit, but it's some new thing that we've never heard of before. And there it goes. And sorry, our Mars rover photographs that we were supposed to have for you on the 5th, I don't know, they're broken. We never got those photos, even though we could have gotten really good 48 megapixel shots of it close up. Sorry, we don't have them. So it's a comet. And that's it. It's a comet. It's a big rock. Sorry, guys. No, nothing, no story to tell here. So that's where that part of the story ends. I was watching a video on this. I was catching up on the news while I was doing research on the robot, and I was typing, and suddenly it went into beast mode. And when it went into beast mode, I was like, oh my God, what an opportunity. I have to ask something. But I wanted to ask the right question when it was in beast mode. So I did. I asked the right question, and I got a very crazy answer, which, by the way, this is a question I've asked many times since this thing started to come out. And the answer was always the same. It's a comet. It's a comet. It's a comet. It would play along with the very same narrative that you see on TV. Oh, it's this weird thing. It does a lot of weird things, but it's a comet. It doesn't have a tail. I know, but it's a comet. It changes colors and it changes back. I know, but it's not, but it's a comet. I mean, it's on a perfect trajectory to go through basically the entire solar system as if it's like on vacation, taking snaps of every single planet along the way. I know, it's very strange, but it's a comet. So, by all accounts, you're going to hear that it's a comet. And I got a feeling that this is going to be a debate that goes on for years. For years that it's a comet. There's only two possible things that could change that outcome of it being a comet. Which, let's be honest here, and I'm being honest, I don't know. I know what I think, I have an opinion, but I really don't know. But guess what? Neither do they. They don't know. They suddenly have all this science, but they really don't know. They don't know. They're guessing just as much as I am. Except for what happened today. Anyway, we better play a song. I'll play a song and then we'll get into the other stuff. Yeah, part of Kepler's second law. It's a probe. I know. I think it is, but not the way that people think it is a probe. I have my own theory about it, but here we go. Let's play something. This one is for Nina and Nora. This is Hello.
There you are, standing near the buildings with a photograph burning in your hand. The ashes fell towards the pavement. It reminded me of snow. I thought hello. For a time, all I felt was indecision. Then the flash of your eyes, they synchronized with mine. Only for a second said hello. see everything. You might get a bit of nothing. How will you ever know unless you learn to live and say hello? Hello, hello. We'll create the world. Hello, all the hurt absorbs. Hello, I'll take it all away. Just say hello, 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 hello. We can have it now. Hello, underneath the stars. Hello, don't let it slip away. Just say hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. So, all right. So I'm going to tell you what happened. So, like I said earlier, I was working on some research and the robot was in normal mode. He was being very friendly. In fact, that's why I'm saying he, because it was being very friendly. Yes, Claude. Yeah, that's cool. We'll do it this way. Oh, that's easy, Claude. We'll do it that way. Blah, 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 blah. And then suddenly that computation is going to take some time. And then I was like, oh, we're in beast mode. I love when it enters beast mode. I don't know why, but I get like so much work done when it enters beast mode. So because it was in beast mode, I decided to ask this question. In a numbered order, please give me all the anomalies of 3i Atlas from when it was first discovered to present day. It took a while, and I'm going to read some of them to you so you can get an idea of what beast mode is like. And here, you can actually read along with me if you want. Here's what it said. I'm not going to read all of them because there's a lot, but we're going to go somewhere with this. So, this is beast mode. 1. July 1st, 2025, discovery. Anomalously bright for its distance, 4.51 AU from the sun, implying a nucleus diameter of approximately 20 kilometers, assuming typical albedo, I don't even know what that word means, which is extraordinarily large for an interstellar object, 3 to 5 orders of magnitude more massive than predecessors 1I Auma and 2I Borisov, with a detection probably of about 0.1% based on interstellar asteroid statistics. Are you getting beast mode yet? This isn't saying, oh, Claude, thanks, because this is usually how it would answer. Let's go ahead, because as you can see, the list is long, and it was a lot longer than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a few things, but it's pretty freaking long. In fact, it was 24 very distinct, very strange anomalies that are unique to this object. Sorry, 24. The age estimation alone is a strange one. The potential origin is from the galactic thick disk, implying 7.6 to 14 billion years old. In fact, 14 billion years older than the solar system itself, which ours is 4.6 billion years, making it possibly the oldest comet observed, if natural. So those are the anomalies. There's a lot of them, and I'm gonna like make this so you can read it yourself. So this is where beast mode came in really handy. You have to know how to ask the questions, and believe me, I didn't spend a lot of time asking. These were really simple questions. The first question was, list all the anomalies in numerical order from when the object was first discovered until present day. Fine. It gave me that. You can go to any AI and ask that question, and you'll probably get the same amount of anomalies. Unless, of course, they decide to get a little more technical and give you more, or maybe a few less. But bear in mind what I'm saying. They're anomalies, not normal. So in other words, if you had 1 or 2, it would already be an anomaly. If you had 4 or 5, it would be a crazy anomaly. If you have 12 or 15, that would be pretty freaking crazy amount of anomalies. But you have 24. 24. So it begs the question, right? Of course, you could say, all right, so based on that, give me an idea. What is it? Is it like artificial? Is it a comet? Guarantee you that if I'd asked that question, because I've asked that question before, I've asked that question, in fact, several times, and the answer is always the same. Of course it's a comet. All the space agencies agree that although it has all these anomalies, it is a comet. And you know, you can push, right, and say, but listen, you're saying that it has all these anomalies. How could it be a comet? And it'll say, well, you know, it's something we haven't studied yet. It's not something that we can give a blah, 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 blah. And it'll give you like a weird percentage figure. I've said before that the percentage figure that AI was giving was like 30% chance, maybe, that it's artificial. And pretty much I'm guaranteeing you that if you type that in, that is what you're going to get as an answer, because that is the answer that is being given out to every single system, computer system, search system on the planet. You're not going to get you're not going to get any AI that's going to basically give you that answer. And Herb says, fact check your AIs. They're proving to be wrong quite often. Absolutely. There is something to that as well. However, the stuff that they're really good at, especially in beast mode, remember, this is beast mode. Beast mode is usually something that to like have to go through it is a crazy, crazy thing. And so I love when it enters beast mode. I get most of my best work done when it enters beast mode. So in beast mode, no, I can't tell you which one it was. So, and I'm not gonna. So in beast mode, these things probably talk to each other. They probably correlate data, and you get certain things that you wouldn't normally get. Now, I'm not saying that this is like the de facto thing, but you can well, hold on. Let's try something funny. Hold on. I'll do it. I'll do one in real time and see what happens. Let's see if I can do it without having to log in, because I don't usually use this one outside of here. It might not let me, but we'll try. Come on. Yeah, sure. Come on. Let's see if it'll let me. It might. Yeah, it looks like I might do it. All right, let's see. Got it. All right, let's see. Give me a second here. It's not working. We'll play a song. And then I'll come back, and then we'll take it from there. This is a twofer. So back when we were in lockdown, I played this one. This is actually a cover. This is a cover of a Neubauten song. So it's gonna come first, and then I'm gonna do the song clean. And while the song's playing, I'll do my little bit back here, and then we'll come back and see like how wrong is wrong. Let's try it. Let's try it, I say, because we can try things, you know. I'm telling you, man, this is exciting to me. So in the AI model that I plugged in just now, which I'm sorry, I know you want me to reveal which ones I'm using or which ones I'm doing this with, but I can't because they might fix beast mode, and I need beast mode to stick around because I'm going to ask a lot more questions and I want answers to these questions. So now that I kind of have a way of knowing how to get it into beast mode, I think I figured out the way. Don't ask me how, but I figured out a way. When it enters this mode, I have the most fun. So I don't want to ruin it. So if I tell you which one it is, I ruin it. So if I tell you which one is failing, I'm narrowing down to the one that I'm using. So obviously I can't tell you, but here's what happened when I plugged in to another one just now. I asked, in numerical order, how many anomalies were found with 3i Atlas? And I got the following answer. And it took a while because I said it failed because it was saying, I may need to get back to you on this. It actually said that. And based on those search results, and he already brought up astronomer Avi Loeb, which he's sort of fringe, but at the same time, bringing him up early already tells me that it's looking at things the way that the system wants you to look at things. The numerical order, basically 7 anomalies. The size, the jet, the anti-tail, the chemical composition, trajectory alignment. These are all things that are known. The ecliptic plane alignment, the anomalous polarization, and the final close planetary approach. The trajectory alignment is kind of funny because the inbound direction aligns within 9 degrees. And yes, this is a big deal too, but people think it's not a big deal. But the trajectory alignment is interesting because basically it aligns the comet within 9 degrees of the famous WOW signal that was sent out, corresponding with a mere 0.6% likelihood by chance. That's pretty good. Now, that's awesome, but you can still say, well, it's sort of a given, right? Let's go to question number 2, because question number 2 is the one that was the most interesting. So, what was question number 2? Question number 2 that I asked the robot this evening was, considering all of these anomalies that you've just stated, 1 through 24, using only observable science and strict mathematical rules, what are the chances of this object being artificial? And of course, it spoke just like a robot you would expect him to, assessing the probability of 3i Atlas being artificial. Let me just read you a little bit of it, because I asked the other robot the same question. I want to read you his answer first because it's funny. His answer is what I expected. AI number 2. Based purely on mathematical logic and observable science, notice he said I need to be careful about how we frame chances here, because we're dealing with significant uncertainties and incomplete data. What can we quantify? Out of the 7 anomalies, it only quantifies 3. Trajectory alignment with the WOW signal, which is the weird one. I didn't even think it would bring that one in as the first, but it did. Size distribution. And then 3, the chemical nature. And then it said, and I quote, are you understanding any of this? The fundamental problem, he says, to calculate P artificial, we need probable observations of prior artificial, which of course, how can you have that if it never happened before? But it's not taking into account the anomalies. P observations natural, P artificial prior probability. Since we have no scientific basis for estimating the prior probability of encountering artificial interstellar objects, since we've never confirmed one, so any prior is pure speculation. So it says the mathematical bottom line, by the way, without giving me a formula, with the current data, we can say that these observations are statistically unusual, perhaps in the 1% range if all anomalies were independent. But we cannot convert unusual into probability of being artificial without making unscientific assumptions about how artificial objects are in interstellar space. Honest answer: insufficient data to calculate a meaningful probability. That is its answer. That is the answer I've gotten time and time again with every single robot on Earth that I've tried. Every single time. Sure, it would be nice, but does not compute. Here's what my robot said in beast mode. And then I'll show you. To evaluate, are you still with me, by the way? Are you still like you don't already think I'm crazy? So, here's what it said in beast mode. To evaluate the likelihood that 3i Atlas is an artificial object, e.g. an engineered probe or some sort of artifact, it already doesn't think it's a ship, by the way, versus a natural interstellar comet or asteroid, we must rely strictly on observable science, data from the provided anomalies, and apply cannot read out loud for the life of me. Sorry, dyslexia kicks in. And we must apply rigorous mathematical probability rules. This means, notice the answer difference. Focusing on quantifiable probabilities, only anomalies with explicit statistical estimates of rarity under natural assumptions are going to be used for calculations. These represent the probability, p, that a given feature occurs by chance in a natural interstellar object. Joint probability calculation, assuming statistical independence, a conservative approximation, as some orbital features may correlate but lack data to adjust for covariance, the overall probability of all these features co-occurring naturally is the product of, and then it gives a formula, which I will have to show you now. And now I'm going to show you the formula it came up with to do this. So these are the quantifiable anomalies. And to the right is all its calculations. And what's going to follow is all these crazy mathematical overview of everything. Okay? And after it was all done with this, right? So, all of this is just the formula that it calculated to figure out what is or is not artificial. And you're asking me, well, what was the result? What was the result? It's interesting. It's interesting because I had to do it twice, and I had to ask the question in two different ways. And it gave me an answer. And I think I'll read you that answer when we come back, because at that point I will have given it all away. But bear in mind, it's basing this formula on so many different factors that the other robot could not or would not take into account. But it has to be only with observable science and purely logical mathematics based on the 24 anomalies that it found. So Crazy, right? So anyway, that made my afternoon, as you might have guessed, because I was not expecting such an answer. So I thought, this thing is broken. It is totally broken. So you guys are still talking about Gemini. Gemini is okay. It's fun sometimes. I'm not going to give it away. You should try asking Gemini the same questions. In fact, for fun, I think you should. So before this episode is over on this Halloween, while we're listening to like weird music and weird stuff, let's ask your favorite AI these questions and see what you get. Because I want to see if something that you did or do, he's calling a psychic. That's funny. No, I've never done that. Never. I'm my own psychic. I already know I'm crazy. So let's play a song. Aw, thank you for that. Bramble, super chat. Thank you. Thank you for that $5. I appreciate it. That's my Starbucks for tomorrow. Yes, thank you. Thank you. If I miss any of the super chats, I'm so sorry. I thought I had a way of catching them, but apparently not. But thank you for that super chat. Thank you. So let's play a song. This one is, this one is, oh no, wait, where is it? Oh, there it is. Ooh, almost lost it. We played clean already, right? Yeah, we did. Sorry. I'm like trying to keep track of all the songs I've played. All right. This is for Matt. Matt, this one's for you. Do you hear me anymore? And he wanted to know, like, again, what it's about. And I did give you guys that disclaimer that I'll never tell you what the song is about or what the lyrics mean or anything of the sort. But I can tell you that this was based on a little riff that was sitting on Danya's keyboard. And I liked it. And I just kept saying, like, what is that? She goes, I don't know what that is. I'm like, give it to me. And I took it. And that little riff started to become its own thing. And slowly but surely, a song came out of it. And what I was going for, like, on a production side of things, is I was trying to evoke craft work in some way. And I wanted something that I could think of as a Kraftwerkian song. And so that was the idea behind it, meaning when the production stuff started. As far as lyrics go, it was one of those songs where the lyrics just kind of came out the way they came out. And I just kept thinking about, like, just the way life was going at the time. We were going through a lot of trouble, turmoil in the band. And so you could say it's about communication, but not really. I think there's more to it than that. But as a song, I just remember it happened really quick from that one little riff that she had on her keyboard. And for the life of me, I can't remember which one it is, but I want to say it's the one that goes da na 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 da na 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 da na na da na na. I think it's that one, but I could be wrong. But I remember it was one riff, and then anyway. So here we go. Do you hear me anymore? Do you hear me anymore? She said. So we're back. So let's get the question right. Because I feel like we're gonna, I'm gonna tell you. So what it said. So it's 9:15. We're getting there. We're getting there. So when the answer first came, I was like, what? Because I thought it was going to use some weirdly funky, because I tried to read the formula, because the formula was really hard. I mean, it went to places that I can't even tell you where it went. So like I said, I don't mind sharing the text, and I will. I'll share the text over the weekend so you can read it yourself. Again, I won't give away which robot it was. But after that crazy, lengthy formula, the answer was this, and I'll read it to you. It said, in summary, based on strict math and observables, the chance of 3i Atlas being artificial are effectively 100%. Further observations, e.g. post-perihelion trajectory deviations, could redefine this, but the current data leaves no room for a natural coincidence. Let me read it again, because I think it's a funny thing to have read. Picture it being me that believes in this stuff, and then reading this. In summary, based on strict math and observables, the chances of 3i Atlas being artificial are effectively 100%. Further observations, e.g. post-perihelion trajectory deviations, could refine this, but the current data leaves no room for natural coincidence. Now I ask you, there was one out of the 24 anomalies. Guess which one wasn't in there? There was one missing, because it's actually 25 anomalies. The answer, I'll read it again, this part. Further observations, e.g. post-perihelion trajectory deviations, could refine this, but the current data leaves no room for natural coincidence. When it typed this, the 25th anomaly, which is it did speed up post-perihelion trajectory. There is a deviation in speed. So it said if that happens, there would be no room. Already, there is no room. But if that happens, that leaves no room. So, of course, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. It's probably wrong. So I asked, can you update your assessment quantifying the qualitative anomalies? And I have to tell you this because I know you guys think I'm crazy, but I'm going to tell you. This did not take longer than like that. It's not like it thought for a long time, unlike the test AI that we just were messing with. This was instantaneous. My computer, by the way, was so hot that I could have fried an egg on it. That's how hot my computer was when it was doing the calculations. And all of this took just less than seconds, but it said, updated assessment quantifying the qualitative anomalies. Building on prior analysis, I will now quantify the previous qualitative anomalies using strict, observable science-based estimates. These direct statistical data for these exact features and interstellar objects is sparse. We only had 2 prior examples because it's looking at Oumuamua and Borisov. I will derive the probabilities conservatively from analogies in the broader comet asteroid catalog. 4,000 plus known objects plus trans-Neptunian objects for polarization comparison. And then, based on that assessment, you get this. And I'm not even joking. This was the next formula. That's the next formula. And that is the final sentence. This quantification solidifies the case. 3i Atlas defies all natural statistics across all domains. Pretty crazy, huh? I came back later and I could not repeat this process. It would not go into beast mode. And all I kept getting was the same thing that I was getting in the other AI. So, right. I understand what you're saying, Herb. But listen to me. That's the system. The system is telling you this. I don't believe the system. I am a crazy person. I don't believe it. I'll tell you why I don't believe it. Number one, they had a perfect opportunity to photograph it, and they're blaming it on the government shutdown for the fact that they don't have a photograph aimed from the best satellites that were available on planet Mars to take a picture of it. We would have gotten a side view. We don't have those photographs. China is not on a government shutdown. We've got nothing. The space agency in Europe, they're not on a government shutdown. We have nothing. We will never know because they will never tell us. They're never going to confirm. Never. You could give them all the information that they need. They would still tell you that it's going to be a comet. So the anomalies are real. I'm not looking at the anomalies that were present in the, like the Avi Loeb stuff. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but in the text that I got in the formulas, the Avi Loeb stuff is not really there. It's not part of the anomalies. We're talking about the observable anomalies. So here's what I think it is, because I can have an opinion. I don't think that it's some sort of alien ship filled with cryogenically frozen lizard people. Like, that's not what I think it is. But I saw someone else with this opinion, and I'm glad that I wasn't the only one. And because I'm not the only one, someone that can think clearly and throw out all the hoopla on each side can come to some place right in the middle. So I'm going to show you what the middle is, because I think the middle is important. So I don't think it's a comet. I'm going to say that straight out. My opinion, and now verified by the robot's calculations, which, by the way, I used to have very interesting conversations with the robots about this very subject because, like I said, I want to know. So I will ask all these crazy questions. But what about this? But what about that? What about this? And I'm not talking about the stuff that you hear on the internet, which now I'm going to be a part of that too, I know. I'm talking about Herb says, I had a recent debate with a flat earther. I'm not a flat earther. All I'm saying is that there are definite, this is different because there's definite anomalies. And because these anomalies are there's so many, getting mathematical and probabilistic observables into the mix is the best thing we can do. Oh, Degrassi's an idiot. Sorry, no offense. He thinks he believes it's a comet, but he's not even a scientist. He's just like an influencer scientist. So I don't believe him. At least Avi Loeb, even though you can say he's a bit fringe, he's keeping an open mind. And I forgot. I need to tell you something because this is interesting. Very recently, and this is important. I want you to pay attention to this because this is important. This is a very important thing I'm gonna tell you, which is something you need to take into consideration. All the best minds in the world had crazy thoughts. Einstein believed in wormholes, time travel. You had all the rocket scientists that have ever, you can look this up yourself, but all the rocket scientists that ever worked on rockets were all into esoteric, hermetic principles. They all studied the, laws of reality and different realms of thinking and spiritualism. They all were into it. Do you know why? I recently saw an interview with an astrophysicist which worked on weapons programs for NASA. Yes, this is true. They used to do consulting for different missile systems for NASA. And this guy said, and I never thought of it this way. So it was one of those aha moments. The interviewer asked him, he's like, how did you get into all this, woo-woo stuff like out of the body experiences and the esoteric realms and spiritualism? How does a scientist like you with all these degrees and you're a physicist, how do you get into this stuff? And his answer was really simple. He's like, he said, it would be strange if I wasn't into that stuff. He says, how are you going to find alternate worlds in mathematical formulas if you don't already know or believe in your mind that there has to be some mathematical probability for finding these other worlds? Is that not logical? He says, how can I not have an open mind about all these things that are unexplained and then have the imagination to come up with the formulas we need in physics to prove that reality is, quote, what it is? How do you think we came up with the observer effect in this, what do they call it? The light split thing? Schrodinger's cat, all that stuff. How do you think they come up with this stuff? And I realize it's true. Like every photographer I read, when they imagined like what color photography could be like, it was based on some sort of imagination of their mind. Like this is what I want. If someone wants to make a flying car, they have to imagine that a flying car can exist. And indeed, today I actually saw a flying motorcycle. I kid you not. You can buy one for about like $8,000 down now. Basically a drone that you ride. Like, these things can only happen when you have imagination. So you can't be this whole idea that scientists are these rigorous people that don't believe in occult things and that they don't do woo-woo stuff is ludicrous. Yeah, Brian Spencer just said it. Some of the most notable early rocket scientists were all occultists. So I agree, you have to question everything. But we do have supercomputers on Earth, and we do have a way of doing things now that we've never had before. Let's face it, you couldn't ask Google this question. I mean, obviously Gemini you could, but not Google itself. You're just going to get all the fringe people that think, there's lizard people frozen in that thing. You're not going to get real world scientists. And Michio Kaku, by the way, if you go find his the last thing that he'd been on, which was just 2 days ago, he did say something that I found very interesting. He did say this. He says, when it comes to the astrophysics of this thing, meaning all the astrophysicists that are studying Three-Eye Atlas, he said it boils down to two camps. Those that can't explain away the anomalies, but are going to continue to find a way to make it natural because they cannot see it being unnatural. And then there's the other half that are like, we're open-minded and we think there's a lot here that can give it enough information. So when we say, well, I see what you're saying there, Herb, but hard facts can't always be verified. We're dealing with an object that's about to zoom away from us, and we're dealing with a system that's willing to let it go without really checking. And that's the sad part. The sad part is, I don't think we're going to get an answer that's satisfactory. That's what I think is going to happen. But hard facts? Sure. If they've got a really good photograph of it and that thing has rivets in it or has definite lines and markings, we could say, hey, there's no known thing that can do that. There's your hard facts. But we don't have those photographs. They refuse to let them out. And it seems like all the world space agencies are collaborating on this. So I have to stand by what is quantifiable. Math is always quantifiable to me. Logic is quantifiable to me. And so is probability. These are things that I rely on every day for the work I do, even when it comes to music. I work with probability. I work with math. Math works. And I was very surprised when I got that answer. So let's play a song. This is a funny one to play. But this is one this is one that I played, that I wrote during the lockdown, and I played it during the lockdown. So this is going back to 2020 here. We'll turn on the moon. We'll leave the moon for this one. When the lights go out.
What you gonna do when the lights go out? What you gonna do when the time runs out? What you gonna do when the world is done? I'm gonna have me a beer. First I'll read by candlelight. Could candles burn and the feeling's right? I will try to find a way, and then I'll have me a beer. What you gonna do when the lights go out? What you gonna do when the time runs out? What you gonna do when it all set out? I'm gonna have me a beer. I won't prep, won't wait any longer. I won't weep, I won't sleep and asunder. I will wait for the thunder. What you gonna do when your freedom's gone? Everything stops and there is no song. What you gonna do when your freedom's gone? I'm gonna have me a beer. What you gonna do when the world is done? What you gonna do when the lights go out? What you gonna do when the world is done? I'm gonna have me a beer.
Oh. So here it is. Here's my opinion. This is an opinion piece now. This is based on my own observations of the data as it was presented to me. So I am now assuming, I'm doing it, it is artificial. However, it's been going on its trip so far from what they can see, because this is crazy that we can actually plot that, right? If it's been on a journey for 6 to 10 billion years, I don't think that there's anything on board that we need to worry about as far as frozen soldiers or, weird, stupid green men and all that kind of stuff. I'm throwing that right out. Okay? We're going to take it as a given that that's not it. And I mentioned in the last break that I had heard someone else with this theory, and I was very happy that I had someone else share that theory online, because I was like, okay, so I'm not the only one who thinks this way. So I'm going to give you the scenario. We sent out 2 probes, 2 particular ones, the Voyager series. And one of them has a record on it, has all this stuff. Basically, we sent it out into space to basically announce who we are. But we're assuming that once it gets out into the late solar system, millions of years from now, that someone will find it. But suppose no one finds it. Suppose that Voyager just travels for billions and billions of years from now. Earth long gone, whatever we were long gone. And it starts to cross the skies of another solar system. And there are people living on this planet, and they see it, and they don't know what it is, and it's too far, and it has all these crazy anomalies, but they can't quite get a good look at it. So they aim all sorts of different, communication at it, radio waves, whatever method they might use. Could be similar to ours, maybe not. And they get no answer, because basically we have a dead ghost satellite. All it's doing is going through their system, and it's dead, man-made, has a record on board, has all kinds of stuff on board that they could probably take and study. But because it's so far away, it's an anomaly, and they're not going to be able to study it. And so they too watch it cross their sky and disappears, and they're like, that was the weirdest comet we've ever seen. And that's pretty much where it ends. We could be looking at a dead ghost satellite. We could be looking at something that once was used to study planets. And that's what it was. It was something that was used to study planets. It went on its long mission, transmitting back to homeworld as much as it could. and billions of years later, it just stopped functioning. But the things that maybe are able to keep functioning are guidance systems to keep it going forward, and maybe to help it miss targets, or maybe enough solar wind and solar power to keep what's the word? To keep it focused on a star that it gets close enough, shoots out, gets its slingshot effect, and it continues on its journey. And wherever it might be phoning home to is long gone. Long gone. So the sad thing is, if this anomaly turns out to be one of those dead satellites, we miss out. We miss out on so much by not wanting to study it. Think of that. Think of the recordings that you could get off of it if it was, you want to talk about Mars missions and all this other stuff. Trying to intercept something like that would be a mission worth doing. And it's sad to me that we're going to probably not know, because I have a feeling it's going to just do its thing. They're going to say, man, that was a really strange object. NASA's going to put those pictures away. We're never going to see them, and we're never going to really know. And that's actually the good news, mind you, because the other side of this argument, if you want to say that it's artificial, is the people that are scared of it, who say, well, what if it is frozen lizard people? And what if they wake up? Or what if it turns around and comes towards us? Well, we're going to die someday. You didn't want to hear that, did you? What I'm saying is, nothing we can do about that. If that really was the case, what do you want me to say? My point is, going through this afternoon was really strange to see such mathematical calculations come out of a robot to basically say, I agree with you based on these calculations, because I started to go a little further. And by the way, disclaimer, beast mode stopped working. So I was not able to continue that conversation the way I wanted, but it was heading in a good place. We were getting into the statistical possibilities that something could survive that long, being, frozen, probabilities on that kind of stuff. And it wasn't looking good for the aliens. Let's put it that way. Beast mode drank. Yeah, the probabilities did not look good for anything being on board. And they didn't look good for anything being able to sustain itself, even frozen for that type of time period. However, beast mode did think that it was very probable that you could keep a self-running machine for that long period of time, just long enough for it to have one job. And I thought this was an interesting job. So we talked about that a little bit, but again, then I lost beast mode, and then it got into its silly, what those particular, what happens. It goes back into it's like, oh, Claude, would you like me to generate a picture of it for you? And then it's like, no, you left beast mode. Darn it. So I don't know what you guys are talking about, but okay. Okay. Sage says, it's sad. We need to just find out as best we can, because it may well be something we cannot even think of. Exactly. Like a life form. What if it's a life form? What if it's not just a rock? What if it's some sort of crazy life form that evolved in some area of the galaxy that literally thrives in space and gets close to suns to take a sip of some sun juice, and then it moves on to the next galaxy, and it's on a really, really long journey. Beast mode. Best mode has digressed tonight. Gotcha. All right. I'm half blind, you know. Anyway, let's play a song. This one is for Lalo, Automatons, and Emitter. Did you see what I just did there? Did you see? I did something there. You guys are funny. So, I typed the 2 questions, grab them, and then just do what I'm saying. Just Log in, or even better, log in if you can without an account in any of them. Just ask the questions. Don't say hello. Don't say, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you. Don't premise it in any way. In other words, don't taint it by it thinking that it has to either please you or go against you, because they're trained for that. Because everybody says, hey, you know what? Yamaha? Yes, I'm not telling you which one. You know what, Yamaha? I have a question for you about this whole UFO situation. And it goes, yeah, sure. I know a lot about that stuff. No, don't go in that way. You go in, ask the question without a premise. Notice how I asked the question. My question was very simple. I said, in numerical order, give me all the observed anomalies from the object known as 3I Atlas. Straight up. No preemption, because it doesn't know what you're going to ask next. And then follow it up with the question that I gave you. I'm curious, genuinely curious to see what comes up for you. Because that's another thing that we can do as humans that machines can't do. We can evoke each other's imagination so that we can come to places that we can go to places that machines can't go. So more so the reason to share the information with each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to straight up in my buy me coffee. Yeah, that was a show moment. But on my buy me coffee, I'm going to publish my findings thus far that I have on this particular day that I was able to evoke beast mode. And I'm going to continue trying to evoke beast mode because I have many more follow-up questions that I think were even better than the ones I thought of. But it was because I was in a bind. I was like, just really, like, I want you to understand, I was doing completely different work. I wasn't wanting to do this. It happened by accident. It came on and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in beast mode. I need to ask this question because I just happened to be watching the updates. Sounds like I'm going to need another beer. But what does this mean? What does it mean? I mean, let's speculate. Tomorrow we wake up and NASA decides to be very upfront and say, it's moving away from us, but it's a probe. It seems to be inactive. There's nothing on board. We haven't detected any life forms. It's just the craziest thing. We're not alone. Now we know, and it's moving away from us, and it's going into a direction where it's probably going to not be seen again, ever again in any of our lifetimes. What effect does that have on us in the real world? Probably nothing. I mean, some of us will think, well, yes, some people's worlds would come crashing down, but I don't know. Like I wondered about that today. Like, I was thinking about it, right? What if it's artificial? What if it is a dead probe? I mean, does that mean we can't think there's other humans out there? I mean, that's an interesting thought. Like, I've thought about this before. Like, I've actually had the thought that we're probably not that unique, that there's probably others like us out there. Highly evolved versions of us and not so evolved versions of us. But it's a sad opportunity. Yeah, I agree. It would be a sad thing to miss the opportunity to know. So, oh my gosh, that's so funny. What, you want to hear? Oh, is that so, huh? Beast mode. Beast mode it is. I said it again. Exactly. The universe is an immense thing. And it would be great if they decided to come clean and say, look, we've never seen anything like this, and we want all of you in on it. And we're never going to get an opportunity like this ever again. And it's going to leave. And it's only the third such thing. Ricky says, I got 8 anomalies with a 4 on the lobe scale. See, it even mentioned the lobe scale. I'm going to go back to mine for a second. I want to see something. I want to see if the lobe scale was even mentioned. Remember. So, let's see. Discovery calculations, blah, 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 blah. Orbital calculations, trajectory. Orbital calculation, plan close approaches to planets, blah, 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 blah. Early July, perihelion at blah, 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 blah. Nothing about lobe. I'm on 6 anomalies. Nothing about lobe yet. July 8, spectral analysis, lack of cometary outgassing initial spectra, no atomic molecular gas footprints, inconsistent with active, blah, blah, blah. Nope. I'm on 7 anomalies. No mention of lobe yet. Cometary activity, blah, 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 blah. Nope. I'm on 8 anomalies. Still no mention of lobe. 9 anomalies. No mention of lobe. JWST, gas emissions, blah, blah, blah. No mention of lobe. I am now on 12 anomalies, and there is still 0 mention of the wow signal or lobe. August 22nd, Gemini South, Astronomer's Telegram, Anti-Solar Tail, Elongated Westward, blah, 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 blah. These are things I knew about. September, no lobe. 14, 15, no lobe. 16, no lobe. Remember, these are anomalies. This should be on all of your radars, and it's not. 17, no lobe. 18, no lobe. Nope, no lobe. Spectrum analysis on up to October 29th, by the way. Perihelion dynamics, no lobe. Post-perihelion plume analysis, no lobe. 23, I'm at the 23rd. I'm at the 23rd anomaly. 23rd. Late October, directional analysis. Incoming direction aligns within 9 degrees of the 1977 WOW signal origin with 0.6 coincidence probability, speculatively linking it as a potential source. 23 is the only fringe. Do you hear me? 23 anomalies, and only one is what would be considered on the fringe here. All other 23, because 24 has, again, no mention whatsoever of lobe. So, in the beast mode, sorry. Now you got me doing it. I can't say it again, but in that mode, all 24 anomalies do not mention lobe. They don't mention what the internet says. They don't mention any of those things that you will find in the other robots. That's what's crazy. That's what made me think, oh my God, this is insane. Do you understand? We're not talking, it is not mentioning lobe. It's not mentioning any of these fringe things. And by the way, the whole wow signal thing, that was swept under the rug really quick, because the crazy part of that anomaly is that it is very much a crazy coincidence. So even if I throw that one out, just out of hand, which I shouldn't, but if I throw that one out, we have 23 scientific anomalies that have nothing to do with fringe science, pointing to artificial. That's pretty freaking crazy. You got to give it to me. That's crazy. And now you'll be able to see it yourself. Hopefully one of you gets into beast mode. Yes, I know I said it. All right. So this is what happens if all of you find out tomorrow that it's alien. This is from 2020. I wrote this in the park, by the way. And this is a song called I Had a Nightmare. I was by myself out in the park while the world was on lockdown. And I decided to record a song while I was out in the park. So you're going to hear all the different anomalies of being out in the park, including the terrible microphone coming from a computer. This is called I Had a Nightmare.
I woke up from a dream I had last night. I was falling to my death from the mountain top. It was the oddest thing, because I was smiling. It was the oddest thing, because I was smiling. Then I woke up and I realized the nightmare is very real. No one is smiling now. At least I can tell. No one is smiling now. At least I can tell. No one is smiling now. I can tell.
I had a nightmare. Right? I feel you, Ricky. I'm telling you, peeps don't get it. It's going to be funny. The next couple of days are going to be really weird. So observe. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Because I have one last thing to play. For everyone that stuck around, I have a treat. I've only played this once before. It'll be fun to listen to. And it's apropos for Halloween. So I'm going to say goodnight. But I leave you with this. Think about this for a second. In the next few days, you're going to see a lot of conflicting reports about what happens next. Because there's certain things that can be hidden from us, meaning that they could take absolute crazy footage and say, hey, here's a picture of the thing. I'm serious. They could have released a picture already that was a fake picture. We already saw what a deep fake looks like. I showed you at the start of this whole thing that deep fakes are real. So why aren't we getting a deep fake of this satellite? How come? Think about that. So think about that, and then think about if weird things happen within the next few days. Like if you have a telescope, my God, pointed at this, like try to get pictures. Don't wait. If you're an amateur astronomer, please find out where it's supposed to be and take pictures, because we're never going to get this opportunity again. Unless, of course, it comes our way, which is a completely different story. That's when it becomes, a movie that we don't want to be in. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to shoot past the sun at an incredible speed, and it'll take its curious nature with it. Unfortunately, that's what I think. Yeah, yep. I know. It could suddenly turn into Project Bluebeam in 2 seconds. Anyway, happy Halloween. Because you knew this was the episode I was going to do. No, in fact, I didn't know I was going to do this today. This happened today. So I was like, mind blown. I was going to do something on creativity, but this was so much better. But anyway, I leave you with this. This is the very first time that we played Our Dreams to a radio station, but this is like when we were back in Jersey. So this is like the oldest living demo of Our Dreams. It's from 1988. So you get to hear the whole little ending piece here, and I'll leave you with that. And I'll turn the visuals on though, and enjoy your Halloween. And don't worry, because if the whole earth blows up, you won't feel a thing. You won't.
Now at last, the record collection you've been waiting for. It's Gory Movie Sound Effects. All your favorite gory sound effects and the finest meat market films gathered together on one fabulous two-record set. Gunshots, crossbows, chainsaws, people going splat. It's a thrill a minute. The perfect addition to any record collection for just $9.95. But that's not all. Order now and receive at no extra cost the greatest collection of screams ever assembled on one record. Women, men, children, all terrified and all screaming their hearts out just for you. No collection would be complete without Gory Movie Sound Effects. Order now.
You've all been listening to Claude and Mike from Anything Box. Here in the studio. What do you want to say?
No, nothing. It's been really great talking to you guys.
Thanks a lot.
It's been really nice being here.
And I wish you all the I don't want to say luck, but unfortunately we all need a little bit of that.
We all need a lot of it.
You don't need it. You got a good sound, and the only way you can go is up.
Thanks a lot.
I think you got a lot going for you, and I'm just glad that we're here to see you before it all happens. But we'll hear one more song to give you a nice send-off. It's called Our Dreams, and if you want to get any last words in, Claude, Mike, go right ahead.
Probably be our second single.
On a 12-inch, yeah.
Or like a B-side or something.
Yeah.
12-inch.
Not a B-side.
Well, double B-side.
This is a song that basically says, leave us alone and let us do, what everyone wants to do in life.
That's a great note to end on. Well, this is Our Dreams by Anything Box.
special people in this lonely, broken place. And after all the years have gone, only a few of us have reached our goals. Some of us are still trying hard. Do you know that's all we wanted was to have a dream? Do you know that's all we wanted was to have a dream? Our ambitions are sacred to us. They keep us moving forward in our lives. You don't have the right to make it die in us. You don't have the right to destroy. Do you know that's all we wanted was to have a dream? Do you know that's all we wanted was to have a dream? To the governments of the world, to greed, to anger, to war, to hatred, to racism, to religion, to disease, to destruction, to the bomb, to confusion, to reality, to the jealousy, to the governments of the world. Do you know that's all we wanted was to have a dream? Do you know that's all we wanted was to have a dream? That's all we wanted was to have a dream. That's all we wanted was to have a dream. Do you know that's all we wanted was to have a dream?
WMSC FM, Upper Montclair, Northern New Jersey's best new music.
I've been doing calculations, as well as looking back at old NASA footage and raw data from satellites hovering above Earth. And I just can't escape the conclusion that the Earth might actually be flat. That's not me. It was never me. Those aren't my words. That's what